Hey, what is up, my less petty pals, aka my autoimmunity warriors? I'm your girl, Kelly Howard Jew, and we are back for Joy Anyway, episode 5, okay? Give me a high five because we are alive. And I am super excited to bring you the importance of joy as self-advocacy. That's what this video is about. But just to introduce myself real quick, as I said, I'm Kelly Howard Jew. I am the founder and executive director of MSing Around, a nonprofit centered on finding more joy and ease in living with an autoimmune disease. I was diagnosed with MS in 2013, and I have made joy the center of how I look at this diagnosis. I find little ways to still have joy regardless of what is happening in my life, and things be happening. Don't get it twisted, okay? Just because I come on here with smiles and I'm all good today don't mean that I'd be good yesterday, because I was not. And that's how it be. But that's why we find joy anyway, because it is about mindset. And in this particular video, like I said, we're going to be talking about why joy is important as self-advocacy. Why does it matter, right? A lot of people think that joy is very similar to toxic positivity, right? Just looking at everything as being so good. Look at it, just look positive, look good, look for the good things, look for the happy moments. And that's not what this is. But joy has been proven to increase creativity, increase resilience, increase flexibility, right? It opens our minds. It allows us to see things from a different perspective. So if we're thinking about, well, how can I find the joy in this? Then we're open to, well, even though I can't feel things in my right arm, I can still figure out what to do with my left one, right? It opens our minds up to the possibilities of what we still can do. It is like proven in so many different studies that when we close our minds, when we close our hearts, then we start to close our options as well. Our creativity depletes. And so asking yourself, right, what does joy look like in self-advocacy for you? I noticed that I overextended myself this weekend. We had the Be Well and Engage weekend, which started with the comedy show fundraiser on Thursday, and then we had the Rest and Reset event on Friday, and then we had the Wellness Day retreat on Saturday. And on Sunday, your girl, me, got a 2-hour massage. That is right. I sure the hell did, because tomorrow I have to hop on a flight and go out of town to look for my daughter an apartment in this new state that she's moving into. By the way, something I committed to, but not really. Like I told her, hey, if push come to shove, I'll just fly out there and look for you something since you still have to work. She took that as push had came to shoving. And so here we are. And I'm kind of in this thing now, this commitment to have to fly to this other state tomorrow morning after a very, very busy weekend. And then in that weekend, like I still have to send emails and follow-ups and thank yous and social media posts because I don't have a huge team right now. We're a very, very small, quaint nonprofit that's building. And so all these little things I didn't take into consideration. And so when I think about my time, my space, and my energy and advocating for myself, right? When my agent hit me with, hey, I got an audition in your inbox for you. Can you get that done by this date? I could have said no, but I didn't. I said yes, and I did the audition today anyway. And I forgot that I had voting today. So voting this morning and the audition, and I'm trying to watch and get ready to be in the state that I don't know how I'm going to be there until I find this apartment. Just all these little things that have come up out of nowhere on this day has me stressed. When I think about the things that bring me joy, I took a minute and I meditated. I was like, let me go sit down for 20 minutes. Let me reset. Let me breathe. One thing I can always tap back into is my breath. So I did that. I said, let me tap back into my breath. Let me breathe a little bit. Let me take a minute. I also hopped on the call with one of my best friends because I know just talking to her really gives me energy. It really excites me. It makes me feel better. It brings me joy. So I was able to tap into the things that I knew would help me find more joy, even though I was feeling stressed. And something else that have been proven in studies is that when you look at joy, when you look at the positive side of things, the cortisol stress responses are much lower, and how you respond to them are much lower. So I'm pretty sure that the amount of stress that I could have had in my day is way different than the amount that I actually had because of how I was looking at my circumstances. And you know, it's very interesting to me. I hear a lot of people complain about the good things going on in their life. They're like, oh, and I gotta run over here and I gotta go do this and I gotta go up here and I gotta get this check and I gotta go and cash it and then I gotta go do this job. And I'm like, you're complaining about all the things that you've been literally asking for. You've been praying to the gods or the ancestors for more jobs, more opportunity, more money, right? And then you get it and now you're complaining about it. And that cuts off manifestation. That shuts it down. That tells the universe or God or the ancestors or whoever you're praying to that, you know what, I really can't handle this thing that I was asking for. And is that what you really mean? Probably not, right? So it's the same thing with our bodies. When I'm stressing about the things that I've requested be well and engaged to be a successful weekend. And it was, right? People came out, they had fun. We created new games and activities in the comedy show. It was dope AF, okay? So for me to sit and complain about all of that, the truth is I am tired, but I'm not going to complain about all the things that happen within the events that made me tired, because that is calling back from the universe saying, I actually don't want that thing that I've been praying for. When I do want this thing. And so, yes, I am tired, and I'm acknowledging that I'm tired. I'm acknowledging that I need a moment to meditate. I need a moment to reset. I need to just sit here on this couch real quick and play my crossword games. You know what I'm saying? And just do some little numbing for the next 20 minutes. And this is what I need. Allowing myself to have that moment and then getting back into it. Not complaining about why I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so tired. I had to run over here and do woo-wop the bam. It's like, yeah, but you wanted to do woo-wop the bam. So why are you complaining about it? So narrative and joy and how we look at things, this stuff all matters. How are we narrating our life, right? Are we self-advocating through joy? Are we using joy as the thing that can get us to the next level or to the next place, whether it's in our health and wellness, whether it's in our friendship group, whether it's in our partnerships, whether it's in our job? Are we using joy? People want to be around joyful people. They'd rather be around somebody that's joyful than a negative Nancy. Am I lying or am I right? You know, I mean, I know I don't want to be around a bunch of negative Nancys. It is certain people where I don't even answer their calls because I know the kind of energy that they're going to bring to that call regardless because of history with this person. And so I don't even answer a call. I'll text them before I answer their call. I'll be like, oh yeah, girl, blah, 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 blah. But I can't talk to you on the phone because of the energy you bring into that phone call. And that will deplete my energy. And I have to advocate for myself with my joy. And so I'm choosing joy in self-advocacy by not answering that call and by sending you a text instead. So with that being said, right, a lot of self-advocacy, a lot of joy, a lot of words being thrown out here, but I'm hoping that it's all kind of making sense and coming to the conclusion that making joy a habit is important to your health and wellness. It's important to your quality of life. Making joy a habit and looking for little ways that you can have itty bitty joys. It ain't gotta be big either. It could be just, this coffee is the perfect amount of heat today, right? It is right where I need it to be. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It is sippable. It is love, right? So how do we find the itty bitty joys in the small things? Do you even think about the little things that bring you joy? So my journal prompts for you today is, what in the last 24 hours have brought you joy and why? And how can you create more of that thing? So that's journal prompt number 1. What in your life has brought you joy in the last 24 hours? Why did that thing bring you joy? And how can you create more of that thing? Also, gotta turn the page. This is a good one for y'all. What currently drains your energy and what restores it? So look at your life. Look at the people in your life. Look at the circumstances in your life. Look at the moments that is stealing your time, space, and energy, right? What is that? And then look at other things that is restoring your time, your space, and your energy, that is bringing joy into your life. What is that? So that's journal prompt number 2. What is draining your energy, your time, and your space? And what is restoring it? And the final prompt, if joy was a form of self-advocacy. So if you saw joy as being a form of self-advocacy, the same way you look at being able to articulate to your doctor the needs of your body, this is what I'm feeling. So if joy was self-advocacy for you, what would you say yes and no to? What things would you say, nah, that ain't gonna work? Or hell yeah, I wanna do that, because you're self-advocating. Me, certain people don't get a pickup from me because I'm self-advocating in that space. I can't. So what are you saying yes and no to if joy was self-advocacy for you in your life? And then this little bonus one real quick is, how does joy feel in your body? How does it feel in your body? Where do you feel it most? Do you feel it in your heart? Do you feel it in your tummy? It's like, where do you feel joy? Right? And how does it feel? Where and how does it feel in your body? Messing around is centered on joy. That is our whole entire focus, is finding joy and ease in living with an autoimmune disease. And honestly, it should be finding joy and ease in living with a chronic disease. Anything. It should be just finding joy and ease in living in life, because a lot of people have a hard time centering in on joy. And it is so important to the quality of our lives. And we have an amazing program coming up on April 25th here in Chicago. It is an in-person event called Improv for Advocacy and Confidence. This is for caregivers and people that have been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. Caregivers and people that have been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. This event, Improv for Advocacy and Confidence, is for you. And we will play games and we will have so much fun. It's a 2.5-hour workshop of just playing and joy and self-advocacy. It's led by our Joy Guides, which are certified improv teachers, and it's going to be really dope. And so I hope you join us on April 25th, Saturday, April 25th, 2026. You can find out more information at msingaround.org. That is right, MSING around, like around the corner, .org. And you can follow us on Instagram at MS_ING around. MS_ING around. I'm your girl, Kelly Howard Jew. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Joy Anyway, episode number 5. High five, we alive. And I'm just sad. We got to admit these things too. I'm about to go wash this makeup off my face and pack my bag, because I have a 6 a.m. flight that I have to leave my house at 4 a.m. for. So there's that. I love you all. Be less petty in your life. Be less petty with your time, your space, and your energy. Don't let nobody steal your joy. Ever. Okay? Be as well as you're able always. Sending you love. And until next time, peace.